After years of pressure to take a look at the eye-watering profits made by banks, Finance Minister Grant Robertson today announced it's finally going to happen. The Commerce Commission will do a market study into competition in the banking sector to see whether it's working for Kiwis. Because while there are 16 retail banks in New Zealand, the big four, that's ANZ, ASB, Westpac and BNZ, who are all Australian-owned, make up around 85% of the mortgage and other lending market. They also hold a 90% share of total bank deposits. It won't be a quick study. The market study will take more than a year, but Kiwis will get a peek in August about what are some of the key issues. Political reporter Amelia Wade has more.
Banks keep Kiwis' money safe, but boy, do they make a lot of money doing so.
Especially seeing they're Australian-owned, which annoys me.
I mean, they've got to make a reasonable profit. Otherwise, the country's not going to look in good shape if the banks aren't doing really well.
I think it is a lot, right, because most people live off so little.
The government agrees, so finally it's going to take a real good look under the bank's bonnets.
If you're a person struggling with the increasing cost of living, struggling with the cost of food, and you turn around and you look and you see the profits that banks are making, you have legitimate questions. That's what this study is designed to answer.
Because me oh my, do they make a pretty profit. Last year, banks' profits were $7.18 billion after tax, up $1 billion on the year before, which is quite a chunk of change to wrap your head around. So here's what it could buy. 9,102 houses at the average sale price. It's the wages of 91,208 Kiwis on the average wage, or 1.4 billion blocks of $5 butter. In sum, it's a lot.
It's a big number, but they are big businesses. And of course, you've got to remember that the $7 billion is matched by the $9 billion that those businesses spent running their businesses and paying staff and paying tax.
It's just a fantasyland comment that the Bankers Association think that there's nothing to answer for in the banking market study.
The Watchdog's deep dive will take over a year. It's not due back in full until August next year and will only look at personal banking services like mortgages and daily bank accounts.
The Commerce Commission market study will focus on examining barriers to entry, expanding in the market and the introduction or lack of innovative products and services.
But the Association of Bankers says the market study could do the opposite of encouraging banking innovation.
The sheer volume of regulation that banks have been having to deal with has been a bit of a handbrake on the ability for banks to innovate for their customers.
We're supportive and open to the Commerce Commission work, and we'll see where that goes.
So it's very populist to beat up on the banks.
Beat up or not, bring it on, say the banks.
We think it is a very competitive market. We have 16 retail banks in New Zealand.
It's the case. If banks argue that they are genuinely competitive, then this will be a study that will show that.
Kiwis will just have to wait a year to find out whether the banks are doing anything wrong or not.
Well, Amelia joins us now. Kia ora, Amelia. So why the long wait?
A year is just how long it takes to do a market study, but Kiwis will get that sneak peek in August because for the very first time the Commerce Commission is going to publish an issues paper, which is of course extremely convenient timing because it gives political parties licence to bash the banks all the way to the election and come up with a healthy debate of what each party would do on how they would bring them back into line. And proving the point, within 45 minutes of the market study being announced, Labor fired off an email to supporters patting itself on the back for taking the first step.
Amelia, tēnā koe.